All right, welcome back, everyone. We are with Sunny Jain, CEO and founder of Sun Genomics. Is a probiotic company. The brand name is Flora, right?
Yes.
And you can find tons of information on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media, including his website. Do you want to run through that real quick?
Yep, we're on Instagram, Facebook at Sun Genomics, Twitter at Sun Genomics, but of course you can always go to flore.com, FLORE.com, and reach out to customer service from there.
Perfect. So just to bring the audience back up to speed again, so we're talking about probiotics and how important that is to your gut health and how so many things just happen in the gut. Just can you explain in layman terms just the microflora and all that, and like what is, like why do we need that? Why do we want to make sure that it's healthy? And you know, what can it do for us when it is?
Oh, Trish, you brought up a good word right there, microflora.
I know, it just makes me so happy.
There's so many interesting ways to talk about the gut. Sometimes you hear the word microbiome. Microbiome are the DNA elements taken out from these microbes of the gut.
Yep.
Microflora, the actual organisms, the cells that are inside of the gut intestinal tract and living and consuming material and releasing material.
Go back to 7th grade science, everybody.
And sometimes you hear that word microbiota, but the simplest way to view gut health is that these organisms, just like our human cells, require nutrients. And if you feed good nutrients into the intestinal tract, which would include your fibers, your green juices and drinks, your cruciferous vegetables and polyphenols, and then lean, low unsaturated fat protein sources, you know, can be really, really beneficial. Sorry, low saturated fat protein sources.
So to that point, so if you have a diet that is heavy in vegetables, raw vegetables, you know, and not saturated with you know oils or fried or anything like that, no tempura vegetables, but just if your diet is heavy in that kind of produce, do you still need a probiotic?
Yeah, we found that sometimes the organisms of the gut, whatever they need to digest, that's like the first thing that it encounters, right? When you eat food, first thing that is going to get challenged there in your body is going to be the microflora that needs to begin to digest it and provide nutrients into the intestinal tract. And sometimes gases get released in that process. Sometimes you might relate that to bloating. Sometimes some different types of short-chain fatty acids get released into the gut system. So those can have symptoms that manifest. And so it doesn't necessarily matter what you're eating as much as what your microbiome is going to process and what's the outcome.
Like how it's reacting to what you're eating.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then what happens, because it's not just what you eat, but how it gets absorbed and what happens, how many nutrients are you absorbing, and and sometimes if you start that process, at least in my experience, is it can almost feel a little bloating and gassy at first, but then it dissipates and goes away over time because your body's getting used to it.
Yeah, there's something called the Hertz reaction that talks a little bit about that, how you might need to have a little bit of a shifting ecology of the gut, right? You're trying to move it from less on the bad organisms and more.
I was saying, you're going kind
of
of like from unhealthy to healthy, and there's a change process associated with that. So like anything, you have to give it a minute, you know, give it time. So I think what's really exciting about what you're doing is, and we talked a lot about your son and the impetus for this. You were driven and motivated because your baby infant son was having some gut issues at a very early stage in life. So I'm glad he's doing well.
He is doing well.
He's 6 years old now.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. But when somebody signs up, you know, for this product, I guess with you, you can customize it to the individual.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We feel that's necessary. So the off-the-shelf products didn't quite resonate with my story for my son, and so we wanted to democratize that and make it available to everybody this way. So based off of the gut microbiome, the organisms of the gut, and how they're going to work and interact with your body, we custom formulate the probiotics, the prebiotics, and now we're beginning to offer vitamin mineral supplements, all into a single capsule, so you don't have to go and source those ingredients, really simplify it. And you also don't have to go through the thousands of pages of clinical literature that we went through to figure this out. We can kind of shortcut it and just make it more available through software and a lot of the tools that we've developed.
I mean, it really is fascinating, because I guess the process would be is you get samples from the individual person.
That's right.
Right, and then you customize, and then how does that work behind? Like, do you manufacture a customized formula?
Yeah, so we have a micro manufacturing process. So instead of what you see at the store, which is millions of bottles made in a single lot.
And I do have to say, you go to the store and you're like, it's so confusing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I spent, I think, over an hour, like standing in front. I won't name the store, but I was just standing there going, I don't know which one to pick. And then the sugar content and everything, just the way it differed. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. And I felt just like too many choices leads to depression. So I just walked away. And what's so funny about this, Sunny, and I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity to meet you in person, because it was probably about a month ago, I was talking to a very dear friend of mine, and she was just having gut issues and, bloating. And, she's like, I don't know, got to take out gluten or whatever, she's walking through. And I found you on social media, on Instagram, and I forwarded it to her and said, I think this is what you need.
Yeah, those symptoms are very common for our customers.
Amazing.
And those are the things that we've been trying to solve for people that have been managing a clinical or chronic symptom for years.
I have chronic rosacea, and there's not a cure for rosacea, as you know, but I kind of determined, about a decade ago, that it's gut health. Yeah. Would that be an accurate statement? I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but
We don't know all the facts between the connections, but there are very strong scientific publications now focused on autoimmune conditions and skin connections, including eczema, atopic dermatitis, rosacea, other things that through your gut, you can stimulate these T cells, B cells, the immune cells, and actually help alleviate some of the symptoms.
I mean, what you're doing is just absolutely amazing. So everybody at home, I mean, it does not matter what age you are or your child. If you need help, if you have these things kind of laying dormant and then coming out in the form of rosacea or eczema or your moodiness, all kinds of things, this is your answer. So go to Sun Genomics. Is it .com? sungenomics.com?
Or flora.com, either one
Or
works.
flora.com.
Yep.
And Sunny and his team will help you. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for being with us today.
That was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks everybody. You've been watching The Hunt. Big thanks to all of my guests today, the crew, and thanks for you for watching. See you next time. See ya.